Hey there, and welcome to another one of my classic and fun lazy reviews. And I'll be honest, a lot of lazy reviews I think are very just taxing, and as I've always said, I don't write a script out because half these damn films I'm reviewing don't deserve it and don't deserve much thought and effort. However, sometimes I actually do have a good time making something, and I'm going to say off the bat that, well, I had to revisit a film recently that I would highly recommend. But before I get started, let's see, my old buddy, Mike's Red Freeze, and yeah, let's get some Red Freeze going. But I'm making this because recently, Regal Cinemas and Fathom Events, they had this thing pop up on my phone, and it said, "Hey, look, guess what? Transformers 15th year anniversary." And I'm like, 15 years? It's been that long?
Ripley from Alien 3.
Fuck, you're old.
Now I was talking to my son who actually just turned 15 and had to check out the dates and everything, and I'm like, my god, Transformers, the Michael Bay version, let me just get that out the way since not the classic 80s cartoon, that's a whole different gem in itself, but Transformers came out when my son was 2 weeks old, and I'm like, holy shit.
Holy shit.
So I was like, hey, buddy, want to go check out a classic film and just, I have to, again, look at this from nostalgia, but also, damn, it's 2022 and it came out in 2007. The old question was, does it hold up? Is it as stupid as I remember? And, the plot is pretty dumb as I remember. Stupid. But I want to just say that, wow, okay, just sit back, have a good time. I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and honestly, the stupid, but yet hilariously fun time I had going back to see something that I would call not a classic, but just a goddamn cold beer and a good time with the first Transformers. Now, going back to this, I have to say, off the bat, it could have been Industrial Light and Magic, it could have been Michael Bay's direction, it could have been a time where people actually gave a shit, but Jesus Christ, guys, it's been 15 years, and the fucking CGI looks just as good, if not better, than modern stuff. Especially, well, anything coming off that shit of Disney+. The first shot we see is of Earth, and just we get to hear a voice of a legend himself, and anybody who grew up with the cartoons of Peter Cullen. I'm going to try my best, but let's be honest, I'm not a real man like Peter Cullen, but Peter Cullen does the voice of Optimus Prime, and we get to see Earth in the background, and the Allspark, and the Autobots, and fighting their war against the Decepticons, and not going to lie, it just, the whole, the screen shaking and stuff, and the speakers going loud, gave me fucking goosebumps within the first 30 seconds.
Before time began, there was the cube. We know not where it comes from.
And then we cut to the military.
3 pilot, power down now. Have your crew step out or we will kill you.
I've said this over the past 15 years. I'm not a military man by any means. I've known plenty of people, men and women in the services. No matter what you think about Bay, his pros, his cons, his directing, the one thing that watching enough behind the scenes footage is Bay respects the fucking military, and they respect him. He doesn't make the military out to be a parody, a joke. If anything, he makes the American military out to be just these, well, they are badasses, but like these invincible badasses that just can't fucking lose. And the way he uses, military tactics, military, personnel, the way these guys, the actors, are holding their guns, official military fucking vehicles from F-22s to tanks to like how realistic the guns sound. It's just so pro-American. America, America. Now, back to that, I'm going to tag him after this. There's a guy named Billy Daniels in my group, and Billy was telling me, yeah, Chris, when this came out, man, I just finished boot camp, and we got to eat steak and eggs and stuff, and we were ribbing these girls about the whole Megan Fox bending over thing during the film, and just, I love this movie.
It looks like your distributor cap's a little loose.
And not just Billy, but I've known people over the past 15 years who say from, a military standpoint, we respect the fuck out of Bay. Bay, in terms of military, does his homework.
Homework?
So let's get to the plot of the film, because let's be honest, there is a plot to the film, not the best one, but a plot nonetheless. Now we get to meet Sam Witwicky, or Sam Wickety, and don't worry, later on, John Turturro will have no problem constantly botching up his name, and just every time he does it, I think it's funny.
I like it!
Now, Sam is doing a presentation in school. He's basically telling the history of his family. And hundreds of years ago, well, his grandfather, he found this great, discovery in the Arctic. And it was the bad guy, the leader, Megatron. Megatron was coming to Earth, and here we go again. Another cliche, but whatever, of the bad guy trying to destroy life as we know it.
The world is ending.
on his grandfather's glasses was the map to this thing called the Allspark. The Allspark would just, destroy Earth and terraform it to being just like Cybertron, the place that these guys came from. And we get to meet Michaela, which is Megan Fox. And, maybe I'm looking into this too much, and probably, but it's, her character in Sam, I feel like over time I've actually kind of respected the writing more, as dumb as it may sound. Why? Because, well, the cliche gets used, and just the punchline from the 80s was, you are more than meets the eye. But Michaela, as Sam gets to know her a little bit by happenstance, because, she's a cliche hot chick in high school. She's dating a big dumb jock that doesn't respect her and care about her. And, she is more than that. She actually just isn't TNA. Now, mind you, because of Michael Bay, there's plenty of TNA with Michaela here.
It looks like your distributor cap's a little loose.
But guess what? She can fix cars. And guess what? She has a record. And, I do like the interaction because, during the car when she's with Sam, she's talking to him like, you think I'm shallow, don't you? Off the bat, I'm like, yeah, you are shallow. Because whether it's 2007, 1997, or 20 years from now, there's a certain status in high school. And hell, I've even dealt with it nowadays where you feel like guys like, Sam don't get girls like Michaela, to the point where you can go back and watch Spider-Man. How long was Peter and MJ in the same class and she never recognized him? She never knew him, just a small geeky kid. Sam has known Michaela for like almost his entire life. In fact, she's in the same fucking classroom with him and she doesn't even know his name. But yeah, you are kind of shallow, and that's how it is.
It is what it is.
And that's even going back to the character of Sam, just being a stupid human. But Sam, almost like Shia himself, comes out as being just the everyman. He's relatable. I mean, let's be honest here. He's not overly talented. He's not super smart. He's not ultra good looking. He doesn't have big muscles, washboard abs. He's not good at sports. I mean, he's as average as you can get. And yeah, it's Hollywood, but it also gives, idiots like me back in 2007, this hope of like, maybe just an average everyday Joe could see a good looking woman and, get to know her and maybe prove myself the fact that, hey, I would respect you and appreciate you. But, of course, it's fantasy. That shit never happens in real life.
Keep dreaming.
The other human characters, they're there for their purposes. His parents, I mean, there's some scenes that are cringy, but some scenes I actually did like. The humans, Josh Duhamel and actually Tyrese, I think they do a very good job of being military men. I feel like whenever they, held guns, whenever they were calling stuff out, whenever they're doing scenes, they felt like they were actually training with the military. And then later on we get to John Turturro, and I don't care. The man makes me fucking laugh. Every time he's on screen for me, I couldn't stop laughing. I like the guy.
Your car? It's confiscated and unconfiscated.
We do not know what will happen if we let any of this thing.
You don't
Nobody
know.
Maybe you know, but I don't know.
Now what happens is Sam is out there with his father getting his first car. The short version is it's Bumblebee and have a drink for the fucking late Bernie Mac.
A driver don't pick the cars. Cars pick the driver. It's a mystical bond between man and machine.
Bumblebee realizes the fact that Sam has the key to the Allspark, but also so don't the Decepticons. And now the Decepticons try to kill Sam, and Bumblebee has this big epic battle with one. And yeah, even nowadays, some of the cam is shaky and some of it's fast-paced, but still, it's enough where I can keep up. At this point, we are seeing the magic of, the Transformers and the transformations, how good the CGI is. And at this point, I did like it, but goddamn, coming up, even now thinking about it, gave me fucking goosebumps. And the trailers, good on them for not spoiling it, because you see little side shots and stuff and back shots, but never really truly appreciating this upcoming scene. This upcoming scene for me is fucking legendary, even 15 years later. And again, I don't care how stupid you think the plot is and dumb the franchise is, but right there, once Bumblebee calls for reinforcements, it's fucking game on. These guys are here and they ain't fucking around. The meters are landing, the music is fucking swollen, it's loud, it's big, and you're seeing Optimus and the team show up. And just, how they get their different forms and their different scans. But Jesus Christ, even to this day, when you first see Optimus, like they take their time doing the slow motion and all the winding gears and just the swelling. And when you first see Optimus and hear his voice looking down at Sam, I'm just like, holy shit. After that, well, they know about the glasses and stuff, and they have to go back to Sam's house. And I still think the comedy is cute because you got 4 massive 30 to 40 foot robots hiding out in Sam's backyard, and they're all afraid of his parents. And just, hey, it is what it is. I had a good time with it.
Lone transformer, power poles sparking all over the place. Oh man,
That's a waste.
The rest of the film, well, it's pretty basic, you know. They know where the cube is at, and then they get there, and unfortunately, the Decepticons, they unleash Megatron, and Megatron is a total badass.
Where is the cube?
The last half hour, I'm sorry, I fucking love it. It's just great action. It's just seeing a character like Ironhide do a slow motion cartwheel and stuff, and this woman screaming her head off, and the military coming in. Then they're calling in the F-22s, and like, oh shit, it feels so like badass and American and over the top. And I even like the fact that, you know, again, take a stupid, simple robot movie and break down the complexity of the characters. Optimus is the leader. He's a badass. He's powerful. As strong as Optimus is, watch the film. He can't beat Megatron. He's trying. And I still like the fact that, you know what, even the Transformers, the Autobots, the lore itself, when you really think about it, they lost the war. I mean, they lost Cybertron. They can't beat the Decepticons. I still respect the fact that the humans, they could just be sitting there watching these two sets of robot, you know, factions battle it out. They're helping, and our weaponry can help them out. They can actually hurt the Decepticons. So they're throwing in everything they got to give these guys a hand. And now it comes down to Sam himself.
We're gonna need a hero.
You know, it's the premise of what he is. It kind of, and again, I'm looking into this too much, but it gives me like a kind of Lord of the Rings vibe.
Wait, how?
In the sense that, look at Sam. There's a scene where he's holding the cube and he tells Megatron, I'm never going to give this to you. And like, you know, fleshling, give it to me and like, I may make you my slave. And why sacrifice yourself?
I'm never giving you this all spark.
Megatron goes to kill Sam, and Sam, by all accounts, would have died. But Optimus saves him.
I got you, boy.
Now, Optimus is willing to have self-sacrifice. He's willing to give his life for the betterment, you know, of the human race, and just, he doesn't want to see Earth fall to the same fate as Cybertron. But Sam, in his last act of heroism, instead of putting it inside Optimus' chest, he takes it and puts it inside Megatron's chest, then kills Megatron. Some people would say, you know, again, Chris, why the stupid analogy of Transformers and Lord of the Rings? Because when you watch those three films, for me, still my favorite scene, if I could pick one at the entire fucking trilogy, was Aragorn. And I say this because my father, it hit him pretty deep as well. And just the simple line of, my friends, you bow to no one. You bow to no one. And that right there was earned. It was earned after 3 movies and 10 to 12 or 15 hours, I can't remember, but after everything they went through. And the premise of these little creatures, these little people, that, you know, in the grand scheme of things, they're not special, they're not important. But the road to sacrifice and the battles they fought and just what they were willing to give up to save the world and change the world. It's no different than Sam. Again, you know, Shia and then Sam himself, there's nothing special about him. There's nothing that, you know, makes him stand out. But the fact that he was willing to give his life to hold on to this cube that would just not even just save his life, but the Autobots and the whole world, hey, that's a hero's journey. I don't give a shit how cheesy it is. You know what? Have a drink.
This calls for a drink.
The Transformers film, it's pretty simple, and I'm fine with that because, again, boy, look at the past 5 or 6 years. How many Transformers are gay? Don't know. How many Transformers were, well, can I say formers and forget it. We're not going to get into that word, but I don't care about their you know, religious beliefs. I don't care about is Optimus a Republican or Democrat. I mean, these things don't matter to me. There's no like, you know, super feminism. Michaela, hey, you know what? She's a badass. She has a good scene with Bumblebee and driving a car, and she doesn't make Sam out to be this worthless, pathetic loser. He's just average. And the Autobots are fantastic. The CGI,
Awesome.
still holds up in 2022. I'd rather watch it than She-Hulk. But my rating system, still working on it. All I can say is just, hey, it's stupid fun. It's popcorn fun. It's a goddamn good time. Is it a cinema classic? By no fucking means. Would I watch it again? Yes, I would. Is it the best film ever? Hell fucking no.
Hell no.
Just freaking grab a damn cold beer, sit down with some fucking popcorn or maybe a hamburger and a hot dog.
Burgers.
And just have some old-fashioned fun without being fucking preached to.
And have a good time.
In the end, hope you liked this lazy review. I had fun making it. I had fun rewatching Transformers. It was a good time, and just, hey guys, that's why we go to the movies for, to see films like Transformers. Just shut your fucking brain off, enjoy yourself, and well, as always, that's it. I'm busy. I'm gonna finish this, and as usual, I'm heading back to work.